ready to begin. So let's begin the showcase. The absolute best part of eMerge Americas, the eMerge Americas Startup Accelerator and Showcase Finale. As I mentioned before, this is the heart and soul of the work that eMerge does. Since the very beginning, eMerge has been dedicated to showcasing the best and the brightest founders from Florida and from around the world. This year, escuchen esto, 100 incredible startups from across the globe have been through a rigorous selection process and a 6-week virtual program, and it all culminates right here. Aquí termina todo. Luego de un proceso muy riguroso, 6 semanas es nuestro Startup Showcase. Our top 5 finalists are going to take the stage to pitch for a chance to get a $125,000 investment from eMerge and BIG Capital for the opportunities to take their companies to the next level. And the ones who will have the very difficult job of choosing one winner are our judges. Just like Shark Tank, let's welcome them on stage now. We have Jeff Hoffman, Chairman of the Global Entrepreneurship Network. We have Hurley, he's the founder and CEO of Strangeworks. David Blumberg, founder and managing partner of Blumberg Capital. And Mary Anna Mancuso, member of the editorial board. She's a columnist at the Miami Herald. Thank you so much. What gravitas, what caliber of judges we have on here today. Amazing.
This is great.
So let's begin. I'm going to welcome the first startup. They're going to pitch, and we're going to go ahead with the next one after that. So to kick us off, let's please welcome at the university stage, Smart, our first startup for the pitch competition. It takes a lot to come on this stage, and these folks could really use your support. So let's give them a big round of applause.
Good evening.
Little pit bull, of course.
All right. Good evening, everyone. At Smart, we are changing or moving the needle to sustainable agriculture, and today I'm going to show you how. My name is Shruti Chaudhary. I'm a PhD student, but my journey with Smart began from my grandpa, who was also a farmer. Well, farmers face many challenges, but one of them is fertilizers. 50 to 80% of the fertilizers are lost in the environment. So farmers buy a lot of fertilizer. Of that, 15 to 30% could just be in the storage and transportation. They are so inefficient. And guess what? Farmers are using more and more of those fertilizers, but that rate is still stagnant. At this rate, we won't be able to feed 9.3 billion people. And that's where we bring our patented technology, Smart Nano Fertilizer. It's a one-step process to make the nano fertilizer, and the size of this nano fertilizer is 10,000 times smaller than the conventional fertilizer that we have in the market. When it comes to saving the value or increasing the value per acre for the farmers, how we do it, they need less amount of fertilizer, which means less amount of storage and transportation cost, less amount of water required, and also saves them the time because there's no preparation time. On top of that, we increase the yield of the crops by 80%, and also the increase in the nutritional capacity of the plants. Don't trust me, trust the validations. We have tested this in Illinois, and we found that farmers only needed 10 pounds per acre as compared to 100 to 200 pounds per acre for the conventional ones, which is 45 times less than the ones that are in the conventional phase. It's a big industry, definitely a big industry, but you know what? That entire industry of that 79% is moving towards the sustainability part. We are currently contract manufacturing and using partners from certified research organizations and using direct growers from sugarcane and tomato to reach out to them and start selling. We start hitting the revenue as soon as we start making production process and on for the investments, and our gross margin is 75%. When it comes to the competition, Smart is a clear winner when it comes to the precise delivery of the nutrients, ensuring that there's a high value per acre and minimizing the environmental release. And guess what? Unlike other companies, we cover the entire nutrient spectrum. That means we cover it for all the crops in different regions. And none of this would be possible without an outstanding Smart team. We bring a combined 65 plus years of experience with research, engineering, innovation, manufacturing, and agriculture. Currently, our funding ask is $2.1 million, which would help us scale to do mass manufacturing, do trials in Florida for sugarcane and tomato, and after that, expanding it all across the US. With that, I would like you all to join Smart in its mission to create sustainable agriculture, scalable and viable. And with that, I also want to thank eMerge for making this little girl's dream come true. Thank you.
So are we up now? We can ask you some questions?
Oh, yes, please.
Can you tell us what the part of the process your patent's about, you and how many patents you have? I'd just like to know what you've protected.
So the entire manufacturing process, so like the way we make it, the process to make it, and what the material is, both of them are patented in a different range. So it's one patent, but it covers the process and the material. And material is something which we have patented in different concentrations. So if you're changing the concentration depending on the type of the crop, that's also patented.
A follow-up, would there be a substitute way of doing it in a different way that might not be exactly like yours, but similar in results?
Because we covered nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, and we listed all the micronutrients. The way we do it, it's not patentable right now because we covered the process, and the way we make it, all the way to a nano fertilizer, that's not going to be copied until this thing expires. But we are not stopping it there. We have much more patents in the pipeline.
For your go-to-market, do you plan to use distribution through existing large pesticide and herbicide and fertilizer companies, or do you want to do direct and compete with them?
So our approach is a multi-step approach, not just one. So we first start with direct to farmers because through you, I got in touch with some big farmers already who are happy to test our product. So we first go with them. But the word of mouth from the farmer is something big, so we want to rely on that. But eventually, we know that the farmers are going to go to the dealers and they're going to ask them, hey, where's the smart fertilizer? We want to buy that. And that's why when the dealers would want to take the smart fertilizers with them. Thank you.
Time.
We're out of time, so
We can
thank
keep
you.
going. Are you sure? We could do more? Ah, question. Okay, because the timer was up, Melissa. So we were like, you're right there. We're not going to mess it up. First of all, great presentation, and you were like right on time. I love that. Very well prepared. I was going to ask about the distribution as well. So you mentioned that you're going to work with these large farms. How many of these are you working with now? And what's your plan for working with, like, are you going to go from 2 to 20 or 2 to 5? Or do you have any kind of idea of how you'll scale out over that time period you had on that funding chart?
Okay. So currently, the farmers that I'm in contact with in Florida, that's somewhere they have 500 acres. But in Midwest, because we did those trials in Midwest, we got the letter of support from Illinois Farm Bureau, which is a network of 70,000 farmers. So the approach for us is that we do the trial in front of the farmer, and then we show that data to the Farm Bureau Association of different states. And if they really like it, they give us the support, and that becomes a major network for us to reach the farmers.
And do you have any idea of how much money it'll take? So that initial 2.1, I believe it was, is going to get you through all of that process. But to get to those 70,000, have you looked at any of the operational cost or scale or anything at that?
Yes. So for the initial ones, the initial one is going to take us to the market when it comes to mass manufacturing, where we can hit the entire Florida. because for us, it's strategic. Like we first start from South Florida, but we have got access to the Central Florida and the North Florida. So we expand from that. And then we moved out of Florida and across the US. So that's what the plan is. Did I answer?
Just a real quick
like
question.
that.
How much does a manufacturing facility cost?
Okay, so because we are not directly putting the investment into making a new manufacturing facility, we are doing a contract manufacturing. So that is something which is way less capital intensive for now. But we know that this technology is something not all the contract manufacturers have. But based on what type of crop we have and what region, we can make these, all those manufacturing units are going to be kept at scalable and distributable units. So depending on crop, we can have a dedicated manufacturing facility to that. But right now, contract manufacturing.
Do you want to ask a question?
No, go ahead.
You sure? We didn't have a lot of time, and you only showed one financial slide. But just from experience, your ramp looks very steep and very easy. In other words, I don't know if you put all the costs in that you're probably going to face. Most companies have more of a J curve. Why do you think you're going to go from sort of flat to very profitable in 2 years?
So right now, the flat figure is basically we are just starting very small in Florida, right? In Florida, the total acres is 800,000 acres. But when you go to the US, it's not 800,000, it's in billions. So that's why it's that curve. For us, initially, we really want to get the confidence of the farmers in Florida. That is from where we are starting, because Florida has one another issue, runoff. And we want to tackle that challenge as well.
Thank you.
Thank you. Your fertilizer company is some good shit.
Thank you.
Our first startup, our first pitch, congratulations, you did fantastic. Just want to clarify, one of the rules, you will get 5 minutes for Q&A with each participant. So thank you, Hurley, for keeping me in check. He's going to take my job next year. Okay. We're going to introduce our second startup. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome, at early stage, Arovia. Big round of applause. Takes a lot of courage to get up here.
She is always right there when I need her. Oh, I think that I found myself a cheerleader.
I like that song. My name's Alex Wesley. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Arovia. I've been on CNBC and featured in Entrepreneur magazine as the creator of this new large portable display industry. We have 13 patent-granted innovations in nanomaterials, optics, and mechanics. In my former life, I was an optical engineer, traveling all over, working in hotels, giving presentations in non-conventional environments like clean rooms. And I had this huge problem where I needed a large display that I could use for presentations and mobile work. And simply, nothing existed. And that's until now, where we created Display, the world's largest portable display. I'll take it out here and show you how it works. So you can fit about 5 in a backpack here. We also have a 2 times larger version we're releasing in a month. It kind of comes out like an umbrella. And the key innovation is this nanomaterial that we developed that also has use cases in other industries like flexible solar panels, used on other displays, and lighting. I'm just going to connect it to my phone here for demonstrative purposes. And you can connect to a phone, tablet, or laptop wired or wirelessly. It's battery powered. Another very cool benefit is that it helps with eye strain. So some of our customers, for example, in the visually impaired world, they use it just before the eye strain benefit. Apologize, I'm kind of catering towards the judges, but here it is. So we sold $1.6 million over just 5 months of inventory availability. Our flagship customers include the US Army, the Air Force, the soccer team Arsenal. We're the most viral product at the last 2 consumer electronics shows in the world, and the biggest trade show in the world, I should say, which is crazy for a 4-person company. And we've also been on the Today Show and CNBC. We're attacking a huge market opportunity. As we lower the price point, this is something that can feasibly be in every home and business. There's also many ways to monetize the screen material. That's a fully flexible light diffuser, like I mentioned, and other display applications and solar panels. We also already have a SaaS component in the trade show market, and we plan to roll out SaaS components to our other verticals. So we already have competitors coming, but we do have a strong source of a sustainable competitive advantage. For example, the LG product that entered our market, it weighs 30 pounds at the same screen size because it's basically a TV that goes in a suitcase, and ours weighs just 2.5 pounds. So as we get bigger and bigger, we negligibly increase weight, but all the other competitors, whether in their foldable or rollable or traditional screens, they become exponentially heavier as they scale up on screen size. Our go-to-market's B2B, B2B2G, and as we reduce the price point, we also plan to have a B2C play that we can plug and play on. I've been at this for 10 years, literally had to live at factories, grind it out. Over the past year, we started shipping, and we're selling it out faster than we can make it. Team includes expertise in optics, mechanics, supply chain management, and B2B sales. Our advisory team includes 3 of our angel investors, as well as our industrial designer, who was the original designer of Dell and compact laptops. This year, we plan to hit a $2 million run rate, and within the next few years, we plan to have a full product portfolio of screens going up to 100 inches, touch screens, and further monetizing the screen material and our SaaS opportunities. Within the next 5 years, we expect to have an exit opportunity because the display industry is really frothy with exits, and that's where we're headed. We're Arovia, and we give you the freedom to do more in more places. Thank you very much.
As you scale up in size, tell us what happens to resolution versus competitors.
The resolution stays the same, so good questions. We're at 1920 by 1080. Just like AR and VR, we can use a different microdisplay if we want to scale up or down in resolution. So there's no limitation of going to 4K and beyond displays as we go.
So you said that you're selling out as fast as you can make them. How many are you making, and where are you exactly selling out? Is it direct off your website? Do you have distribution partners?
Yeah, so in our core markets, which is trade show, SMB, so you see a few if you wandered around, the low vision and the DoD, we have resellers that we work with. So even though they're disparate markets, they follow a similar playbook, and so it's through those partners that we're selling.
So what's your manufacturing capacity? Because you said you're selling out more faster than you can make them.
Yeah, so right now it's getting the funding for inventory because we have a high MOQ because it's a fully custom projector. So that's what's a bottleneck for us. We're putting together some additional pre-sales right now and planning to place the order this week for the next batch.
And how many would you say you produce every month?
We can produce like 1,000 to 10,000 a month. Like there's no bottlenecks there. So once we're there, like we have the flywheel going, we know how to sell, we know the go-to-market.
So the bottleneck's more in the initial process of.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I guess I have a question about, I'm looking at the examples, audience, you should see them, they're beautiful, but about use case. What are the most active, high demand use cases that you think over the next few years when you enter? You talked about military. Yeah. Most of the stuff I'm seeing here is gaming and so on, and travel.
Yeah, from a consumer standpoint, like we have customers, even at the current price point, they use it as a TV for their kids, like for the eye health benefit and things like that. Van life, ultimately could just be an auxiliary TV once we get down to that $300 price point. Use it anywhere. I use it as my main screen for working because I get ocular migraines, and so it helps a lot with that. So ultimately it could be something where it's an everyday item for a lot of people.
What would it take for you to bring the price point down? I know you said you wanted to get to a $300 price point for one of these, and right now it's $1,000. What is it going to take to bring that down, and how long do you anticipate that will take?
It'd be about a year, relatively small investment, $1 million, so that's part of the fundraise we're doing, and it's just all about reducing the cost of this projector in the back. This is 90% of our BOM cost, which is another reason we've looked at other ways of monetizing the screen material.
Show it to the audience so they can see. We've seen it.
It's going to be a bit washed. There you go. Yeah, okay.
Other questions?
Good. Did you have a question?
Go ahead.
I think it's great. I'm going to ask you a horrible question,
Uh-oh.
which is it's $999 now, and you said in a year you're going to get it down to $300.
So we're going to be, so right now we use the TI DLP technology. We'd have to use a lower cost competitor to that, and so we have a few suppliers that we can work with.
And you've sourced those already?
Yeah, we've actually done prototypes of them. That's whole other stories through the years of doing this, but we have suppliers identified that can do that.
You've sold how many total now, or how many are out there?
Between 2,000 and 3,000, about 3,000.
Okay, and primarily, what's the pie chart of that, channel-wise?
It's certainly over the last year, it's predominantly B2B through those sales channels. So mostly like the trade show use case and the low vision use case. We're starting to get in DoD more. We're in the final running for a naval maritime cybersecurity.
Okay, one more thing. One thing that people often don't listen to as entrepreneurs when they're out selling is when someone says no thanks, why do they say no thanks?
I have the exact
Entrepreneurs
same
just
question.
move on, and I always have to ask them, why did they say no?
And I want to ask it two ways. I want to ask
So-
it his question, plus why do other VCs say no before?
Well, we're in the early, like we have a term sheet now for a $5 million round to answer that question. But why people say no in the consumer, it's definitely the price. Like all the signal's been once it's less than 300. For other use cases, we sell well. I mean, when I talked to my sales guy, I think you, the second speaker after you, the first day, talked about building street cred. That's what he believes is the bottleneck. But even he has crazy high success rate, and he's been doing a lot of B2B. So in the right target markets, it sells quite well. But we do need to build up that street cred. Yeah. Great questions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Great job.
Let's give it up for Arovia. Thank you so much for the demonstration. I love that the room just started getting packed again, and I see so many people here that looked at your pitch that are also great investors in Miami. You did great. Thank you so much, Alexander. We're going to bring on our third startup. It is early stage, pre-seed, and it goes by the name of Margin. Let's please give it up for Margin.
Thank you, Maria. Thank you, Maria. Appreciate it. Guys, first off, thank you to everybody here for making it through the entire day and waiting till the end. For us, it makes a huge difference. Number two is, you don't know who I am yet. Mayor Suarez is leaving, his term is ending soon, and I want to take a second and say there has never been, I've never met him in person, never been a more tech-forward, small business, everyone innovation and economic development, more at the forefront of that within our ecosystem at least than Mayor Suarez. So congrats to the mayor on the term. Venture Miami, which is unfortunately no longer, was a major piece of that. All right, so thank you to the Venture Miami team, especially Nikki Demko. Lastly, Dan, Melissa, Manny, everybody, guys, this show has been amazing. All right, I am Yoni Rubin. I am the CEO of Margin. What we're doing right now, and only right now, is we're increasing profit margins for restaurants. We're starting, I should say small businesses starting with restaurants. We all know small business attrition rates are massive. I think if we all had to deal with that kind of stuff in our lives, failing at a 90% rate is pretty wild. We'd want to do something about it. We figured out that restaurants were suffering the most. We all know they're working with paper-thin margins, right? We're working with 80% margins. They're working with 5, 10, 15. We get it. This is the major difference as of the last few years. All right, the last 5 years, we've seen the same amount of inflation as we did the preceding 15 years. This is killing those restaurants. So we built Margin after speaking to a lot of them in order to basically find those profit centers within the restaurant and provide insights naturally, right? We're kind of a business intelligence platform, except for one thing. We do so within the context of the economy, your local market, your competitors. No more garbage in, garbage out. Actionable insights right now, real world, real time. This is what happens. We intake your P&L basically, fully integrated into various accounting systems, currently just restaurants. We integrate then third-party data, be it weather, traffic, health, safety. Currently, our major feature surrounds the economics of your cost of goods at your restaurant group. We've got a pretty big wait list that we're working on converting. We just recently launched very, very quietly. And thankfully, Venture Miami and Nikki and her team over there have done an amazing job helping us really get the attention of restaurants in Miami. I'm not going to dwell on this one too much, typical SaaS, but myself, I've been a COO for the last 15 years, or head of business operations. We have an amazing data science and engineering teams in Israel, all in-house. They have revolutionized the way we work. And then amongst our team, obviously some successes, including Des Haig, who used to run IHOP and Safeway. And hopefully in the next week or two, we're going to have a Wendy's board member on our board as well. Notice, very food themed so far, restaurant themed, right? That's not the big picture. The big picture is our underlying patent pending technology. The technology itself is the end all be all of business intelligence. All right, this is going to apply eventually to retail, working our way through small business, mid-market, upstream, and so on. And the idea is to do away with Power BI, Tableau, Sisense, all these things. When was the last time anybody here, raise your hand honestly, you made a decision based on a graph? No. I'm going to skip that, but basically Toast, everybody knows Toast, massive amounts of data that they know nothing about, these restaurateurs. They're complaining that they have too many disparate systems, too much data, and so on. And so going into the market, we've got a lot of design partners, paying customers starting literally right now in the last 2 weeks. It's been crazy. Major pipeline around 7-Eleven, Taco John's, a partnership with the city that's in the works right now. We're going to be launching downtown Miami soon and all the 200 restaurants there. And we're raising $2 million, near closure. And our goal at the end of the day is to bridge this entire knowledge gap, first off in small business. They suffer the most, they need this help, and then eventually make our way upstream. Thank you very much.
All right, so this is going to sound like a way more harsh question than it's going to be, but it's a legit question. I do software as well. I think the future is most developers are out of a job in the next 3 to 5 years. So what is the demonstrable difference between your platform and I take that data and I feed it into a Claude or an OpenAI or something, or a reasoning model, and have it do the reasoning and the research and everything?
We're going to automate that entire thing, and we have the IP around it. So great question, first off. We are literally in the process right now of onboarding our restaurateur in residence, who's one of the most sophisticated restaurateurs, does that every single day with his Toast data, loads it up into ChatGPT. He's joining us. He wants to change the entire business model around the restaurant space by automating everything he does every day. And he came to us, he said, I want a seat at the table because I've been suffering from this way too much. So you won't find most restaurateurs actually loading up their Toast exports every day to ChatGPT. It's kind of a lift.
Most of life seems to work on the 80-20 principle. So where does the magic happen in your application? What do they save most money on for the least amount of their effort?
Easy. So we have a case study coming out in the next couple of days around one of our design partners that we went through. We applied our algorithm to their entire menu. So initially cost of goods, we figured out everything, and we made recommendations around what to remove, what to add, seasonality, everything you can possibly imagine. And we were going to save them 40, and get this, we did an analysis, and we don't even have to talk to them to do this analysis, by the way. I can walk into a restaurant and do this in advance. It gets more accurate when I walk in. But we did it for them. Maybe, I think we tackled 3 or 4 items on their menu. It was going to save them $4,500 a year per location, and that was only about a quarter of their menu, or maybe less. So all in all, a couple tens of thousands of dollars per location, and that was only our cost of goods use case. We have other features coming out around labor costs, weather effects on the restaurant, eventually the small business, and so on.
So this is mostly focused on reduction of costs. Like, do you do anything at all for, here's an opportunity because you're selling your drink for $4 less than the restaurant next door?
Nailed it. So we're adding KPI benchmarking as well as competitive analysis and intel, right? So you're going to find out on a micro and macro level, hyper-local and so on, what other people are doing so you can compete accordingly. Eventually we're going to also suggest vendor pricing, for example, distribution, which is being digitized right now in the restaurant space. We want to know how much the guy around the corner is paying for his cucumbers, and we want to pay just as little, right? All of that is coming entirely. We're just going down the line of, call it APIs and data sources at the end of the day. And I'll add also, you know what, I'll skip it for now and I'll tell you about it after.
I'm going to ask what I think you're going to say.
Go for it.
What about the pricing side? How about revenue optimization?
That's the whole premise. All right, we started on the premise of financial modeling. I had pain points around financial modeling being a head of business operations, particularly in the tech space, but I've spent I believe it's a rite of passage to serve tables at restaurants. So I was working on these financial models, and I asked myself, we've had Carta forever around cap table management. Why don't we not have the same thing for financial modeling? Throughout our beta programs, getting to product market fit, which we'll get to eventually, but learning and understanding, speaking to the audience, being obsessed with their problem, which I didn't understand, by the way, until I started actually doing it. That's what really led us into this problem. So the underlying technology, the underlying asset, I should say, is all about cash flow. Ultimately, it's going to be operational. Eventually, we want to get into insights about how does the real world affect your social media campaigns, your PR, so on and so forth.
So
Go ahead, Jeff.
most people don't realize that one of your biggest competitors, not you, everybody out here, is inertia. It's not another company. It's the fact that we've been running our restaurant this way for 10 years. What are the single biggest differences in my day? I own or I work at a restaurant. What am I going to be doing different to get the actual value out of this product?
Different? You're not going to have to do a thing. So the entire premise of our platform solves that problem, which is don't lift a finger. All right, so our onboarding, we learned through the process. We had a very inundating onboarding process previously, spoke to potential customers. They told us exactly what you just did. We said we have to come 100% to their doorstep. Small businesses, a little less sophisticated in terms of business, maybe language barriers, 100% to their doorstep. And that's what we're doing, and that's what product-led growth is all about. So they onboard, they no longer have to do anything with onboarding. It's literally a click. We're already SSO'd into QuickBooks, Restaurant 365, Square, Stripe. In fact, one of our competitors, in theory, is Extra Chef, that was acquired by Toast. The founder of Extra Chef is now going to be partnering up with us through his new role at Square. And people are leaving Extra Chef pretty quickly, by the way.
Unfortunately, we've run out of time, so I have to keep everybody in check. Yep, we're
Thank you,
out of time.
Miami, guys. Thank you so much.
You did amazing. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. All right, everybody. We have a later stage startup that is going to pitch. The company name is Realfinity, and this is Luca. Let's give it up for him.
Hello, Miami. All right. So my name is Luca Dahlhausen. Before going into today's pitch, I would like to share a short story that is a bit of background that I think people can relate to. Just like 85% of Americans, when I bought my first home actually in Miami, I had to get a mortgage. And what makes me a bit different than most Americans is I spent the last couple of years working in capital markets. And what most Americans don't know is that on the average mortgage, more than half of the cost to originate the loan that you're paying for is actually being spent on acquiring you as a customer, meaning sales and customer acquisition. At Realfinity, we are on a mission to change that because it doesn't have to be that way. So we've built an intelligent mortgage engine that allows both companies and agents to embed mortgage and offered us the service to the existing customers, completely bypassing traditional sales and customer acquisition channels. The concept of embedded finance is not new by any means. We have great investors sitting here. I'm sure they know some of these names. But it started all with financial services that were very frequently occurring and less complex. So there's players that are household names and payments in small consumer loans like buy now, pay later solutions, and it's rapidly moving into more complex, less frequently occurring transactions. An example is insurance and also mortgage. Now, imagine you are a real estate brokerage, a real estate platform, or even an individual agent, and today you want to offer mortgage to your existing clients because you're seeing platforms like Zillow and Redfin doing exactly that. The problem that you have is massive. It's not possible. It's complex. It's highly expensive, and it's extremely time-consuming. So at Realfinity, we've built a solution for that. We've built Stripe for mortgages. We've built an infrastructure layer that allows agents and companies to seamlessly integrate mortgage into their existing workflows. And we've not only built a platform, we've actually originated over $50 million worth of loans in the last 12 months on it. Consumers are winning by having lower rates and less customer acquisition cost that they need to compensate the lender for. So how does it all work? We are an infrastructure platform that essentially sits in between the agents and companies offering mortgages and the buyers of the loans. These are Wall Street and GSEs. GSE stands for Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. Now, when you look at the infrastructure, it consists of 4 core components. The origination technology to take in loan applications and process these loans, the decisioning engine, anything around underwriting these loans and being able to make the decision if somebody qualifies or not, the capital stack to fund the loans and to sell them into the secondary market, and the compliance check to do so in a compliant and licensed fashion. So where are we at today? We've taken over 1,000 loan applications as we're standing here today, 495 of which were complete approvals, meaning we've checked credit, income, liabilities, and assets of these borrowers and actually assessed their financial credibility. And we've originated already over 85 loans out of that for more than $50 million. Our revenue is growing steadily. We came in at $41,000 at the beginning of the year, and we're about to deliver $97,000 in monthly revenue for March. Now, our team is very proven. I myself and our chairman actually ran a traditional lending business before. We sold that to Cross Country, the 5th largest lender in the nation, in 2022. And we have a technical co-founder, Kipper Bush, who opened the mortgage arm for Open Door. And I just most recently came back from Seattle, was able to recruit our new head of growth, who was at Zillow before, selling Premier Agent, the lead program, to individual agents, and then ran the real estate program at Better Mortgage. So we're a world-class team able to really tackle this. Now, we're raising a Series A right now. Happy to answer any questions for the judges over here. The market size is massive. We're talking about $55 billion in mortgage origination revenue.
So sorry to interrupt, Luca. I think we need to give time for the judges to start the Q&A right now. Okay, that was a good pitch. Judges, ask your questions.
How do you plan on scaling this if you should win the competition and moving forward?
It's very simple. So we continue to grow the agent side of the business. Like I said, we have the right team to do this. Agents really appear in cohorts. So we have a plan to, and we're already doing it, to tackle these agents in chunky batches and to bring them onto the platform. And secondly, we need to continue to sign B2B deals. We just most recently signed the largest for sale by owner platform. It's actually a Miami-based company. They are selling about 8,000 homes for people that don't want to hire a traditional real estate agent and want to just pay a flat fee. And every single one of those buyers is going to be offered a mortgage through our platform. They're embedding it in their platform. So we need to continue to grow both B2B deals as well as the individual agent business, where still today a lot of the transactions are happening.
And so you're pulling all this information, qualifying these buyers. Are you doing that through partner services or those services that you've originated in the platform?
No, so we're doing that ourselves. So imagine when you go onto our platform, we'll take in your W-2 pay stub. We will actually ask you to connect to Plaid to see your assets, right? We're directly connected to the credit bureaus. We'll do a credit check on you, right? And all of a sudden we have liabilities, your credit, your income, and your assets. And based off of that, we're basically running underwriting concepts against the investors' guidelines that are buying these loans on the back end.
So it's not lead gen, you're fulfilling the mortgage itself all the way through.
That's correct. We're funding the loans. We don't take long-term balance sheet risks. So we today have warehouse lines of credit from large depository banks. We fund them and we immediately sell them off to whoever the end investor is. So for this round right now as well, we tend to speak with investors that have strategic benefits. So a lot of the buyers of these loans are endowment funds, insurance companies. These are the people that are holding the loans of the U.S. People on their balance sheet in the long term.
So your sweet spot customer is who?
Individual real estate agents and platforms like for sale by owner platforms, real estate brokerages that are digital, any of those players that could embed mortgage at point of sale in their product.
Okay, so since in marketing perception is reality, and if I watch Rocket or some of these other commercials as a consumer, not as a professional, I think they're doing the same thing.
That's
What is the maybe one sentence you're telling that individual agent that gets them to understand that you're doing something everyone else isn't?
Well, if you don't start thinking about this, Rocket will overtake it, right? Because they're one of the only ones that do it, but only for the companies that they own. Zillow has its own mortgage entity called Zillow Mortgage, right? Now Zillow is the largest platform in the industry, and they have the balance sheet to spin up an entity like that. You know how many mom and pop real estate brokerage shops there are that want to start offering mortgage as well, but they can't because they aren't Zillow, they don't have the balance sheet, they don't have the infrastructure? we're the answer. So they need to think about that. I actually point them into that direction.
And what's your moat from a technology perspective?
Well, it's pretty simple, right? It's a UI-driven approach for the agents and an API-driven approach for companies, okay? So all functions on the platform, I've mentioned 4 core functions, right? Origination, decisioning, as well as pricing and product eligibility, which falls under the capital market stack, and compliance. All of that is available via the UI for agents and via a set of APIs for the companies wanting to embed that into their platform.
What are you doing with the user's data that you're getting captured? You're saying you have access to the credit reports and all of their lending information. How are you protecting that, and what are you doing with that after the loan has been disseminated?
Sure, we're a SOC 2 compliant company. Just like any other lender, we adhere to all licensing requirements that, you know, the individual states as well as the federal government put on top of or put on us. In addition to that, like I said, we're trying to maintain security standards across the organization, which we are doing today. Obviously, becomes even more important as you're growing and growing, and we continue to invest in that. Now, what makes it a bit more easy is if you have a CTO like we have that has experience in building platforms like this for large enterprises, and obviously we're relying a lot on the team there, yeah.
Have you have enough data yet to really narrow down these customer personas? What I mean is type and size of loan, who immediately likes this and who doesn't?
Yeah, great question. So agents, we don't talk to anybody that does less than 5 transactions in the last 12 months. I only care about people that do conforming loans. So every county has conforming loan limits. We're building a product for Main Street America. If you're thinking of your Miami Beach oceanfront home, right, these are $20 million homes. The people have different means of financing. This is a product for Main Street America, and so our average loan amount right now is right around $500,000.
Thank you so much, Luca.
All right,
You did
thank you.
fabulous. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, ladies and gentlemen and judges, we're down to who's going to leave the clicker. Now I'm going to recover my momentum. We are down to the last startup. The name is RX Pharmacist. It's later stage, and this is Marianne. Let's welcome her to the stage.
All right, this works. All right, great. All right, so my name is Miriam. I'm a pharmacist, and I'm the founder for RX Pharmacist, where failing your pharmacy licensing exams is not an option. How did we get started? My friend Mike, he had 3 little kids. His wife was a school teacher. He was so excited to be done with pharmacy school. He had a full-time retail job offer in hand. He was working for them as a grad intern, and all he had to do was pass his board exams. He failed. He not only lost his job offer, but they fired him from his intern job, and he didn't know what to do. He called me up, needed help. I quickly got with classmates. We helped him pass his exams. We helped him get a job, and he said, "Thank you so much, but you have to do this for everybody." And that's how RX Pharmacist got started. We're solving this huge problem where pharmacists are continuing to fail these exams year after year, and the consequences are high. They can't get a job. It takes 2 months for them to sit and retake these exams, and they have over $200,000 of student loans on their head. They cannot afford to fail these required licensing exams to get a job. So what do? We are a lifetime career partner for the pharmacist. We help them pass these licensing exams. We help them get a job. We help them maintain the license through continuing education with a 93% pass rate. This is a screenshot of our website. We have a learning management system, and we serve three different segments: the pharmacy schools, the pharmacy graduates, as well as the employers. So, where are we at so far? We're in 24 states and growing. Every single state has their own pharmacy law exam. So if the pharmacist has to move, they have to retake that exam. In addition, we're in 6 pharmacy schools. So we have 6 contracts to date. And our SOM is 80,000. This is conservative because this is not including the ones that are already failing. Like I mentioned, about 25% are failing these exams. This is not including that. These are just first-time test takers. In addition, how are we different? We are a one-stop shop. Again, being that lifetime career partner for the pharmacist. Come to us to get licensed, come to us to get certified, maintain your license, and continue with us for 20, 30, 40 years of your career cycle. Kaplan actually got out of this market in 2022, and we are continuing to capture their market share. Data. We have a lot of data on our hands, and it's very easy to predict the next trigger of the pharmacy career. In addition, helping them pass at the very beginning with their licensing exam, it's very easy for us to capture that customer loyalty because they can use this for the lifetime of their career for other things they need to do to maintain this license. In addition, completing our system with continuing education so that, again, they can be that lifetime customer for us. We are cash flow positive, zero debt, zero equity loss, and we are continuing to scale with our diversified revenue streams. In addition, we're going to be scaling up to other health allied professionals. Same exact problem. We have the same exact solution, scaling to other health professionals. We're a team of pharmacists and pharmacy students. We know our customers well because we are the customers. Lastly, for the ask, we're hoping to win this pitch competition. We're going to be using it to expand our CEs, finish up capturing pharmacy, and going into optometry. Again, cash flow positive since day one, zero company debt, and equity loss. And I ask you, the audience, to please join me on this journey to being the lifetime partner for the most accessible healthcare provider. 90% of Americans live within 5 miles of a pharmacy. So please join me in this cause so that we can help out our society, our communities, and help out these pharmacists.
Can you go a little bit deeper into what the product actually is? Are they test exams? Are they video modules, study guides? Tell us what you literally deliver as a product.
Yes. So I did a capture of the website screenshot you saw earlier. And let me go back real quick if it lets me. So basically, we have a learning management system. They go on our website, and we basically sell online courses. So they go on our website, they go on our online courses, and think of content, lectures, exams, things like this that we sell to them.
So how much do you have to do to complete the continuing education? Because that seems like a big part of your pitch, which is stay with us for the next 20, 30, 40 years of your career.
Thank you so much for asking. So with the CEs, you can see here for future additional revenue, this is reoccurring revenue that we are going to be getting. And you can see here that it's a much larger number for the revenue size because, like you said, this is required. They have to get this to maintain their license unless they just want to lose their job the next day. This is something they have to do. And we're in 24 states right now. We're going to be expanding to more than 24 states, of course, capturing the majority of the United States. And of course, every state has their own CE requirements. So we are definitely on top of this because we do the law side of it. We already know what the CE requirements are for each state.
Do you relevance rank the states that you move into first?
I'm sorry?
Since they're all individual, do you relevance rank the states you're going to move into first? And if so, what will be the first 3 states you'll be offering the continuing education?
Yes, we're going to be doing Florida, Texas, as well as California for the CEs because there's a huge pharmacist population there.
Question. You have a full wrapper service. You're doing the helping them stay on time for everything and so on. But in terms of the education itself, I'm guessing, I might be wrong, that somebody else is giving it away for free. Like, I thought Harvard and MIT are giving away all their classes now online, or somebody else. Is there anybody else that's doing it that's going to undermine your revenue potential?
So no one's giving it for free. Pharmacists have to pay for these test prep resources no matter where they go. I'm going to go back to my competition slide real quick just so you can see how we compare to the current landscape. So the biggest thing with our landscape here is no one's being that one-stop shop to, like you said, being that wrapper. So we are definitely doing this in the marketplace. And in addition, I'm not aware of people doing it for free. I know for the CEs, there are some free CEs. However, I'm a licensed pharmacist myself. I'm in Florida. And I get some CEs free too, don't get me wrong, I want to save money, but I always have to pay at least $50 to $100 because there's 2 or 3 state-specific CEs that are not given for free.
Is the anticipation that this is a membership model and they will stay with you after they pass their board exams and continue to pay each month for access to CEs?
Yes, so for the CEs, we're thinking about doing it as a yearly type of membership, so it would be a subscription basis, correct?
And that price of $129, is that the subscription model?
That is the current pricing for our online courses right now.
For one course or for a monthly membership?
For one course. And they gladly pay that because as you can see here, compared to our competition, we are very affordable.
What is the failure or fail pass rate of the first timers? Maybe you said that and I missed it.
Yes, sorry, I did go a little bit fast in the beginning.
93%.
So on average, it's about a 25 to 30% fail rate. Some schools are worse. I guess I'll call it out since it's public information. UCSF, for example, has about a 50% fail rate. So if you look at their data the last couple of years, half their students have failed these exams, which again, it delays them from getting employment, and they have the risk of the student loan on top of their head, on average $200,000. So they can't get a job. They have to pass these to get a job, and if they don't pass the first time, it's very, very high stakes and high consequences. They are required to wait at least 2 months before they can retake and sit the exam again, because that itself delays them at least, on average, 6 months from employment.
What is the average requirement? How many hours a year for CE?
Each state is different, so every single state is very different. I know for Florida, for example, every 2 years we have to do 30 hours of CEs. The model that I'm doing is to make it extremely convenient. Think of Amazon one-click style. That's exactly what I'm thinking about. Make it as convenient as possible. I know, because I'm a pharmacist myself, I'll be honest, I'm just doing it just to check the box to maintain my license. And so I want to make it as convenient as possible for them.
Any questions? Okay.
All
Well,
right,
thank
that's
you
it. No
very
more
much.
questions? All right. I'll go back to my end.
Thank you so much. I want to thank you for your
Thank you.
time. You were fantastic. I think you get to
Yeah,
keep
you
that
can-
mic
you
for
keep that
now.
mic.
Let's thank our judges for their
Thank
time.
you, judges. Now it's your difficult decision. We're going to ask you to go backstage and deliberate.
Thank
We
you.
have a little room there for you.
All right.
Thank you, thank you.
While they go deliberate and they're going to talk about all these pitches, Meli, it really is meant to be said that it's not easy what these entrepreneurs did.
Very difficult to come up here, pour your heart out, something that you're so passionate about. It's nerve-wracking.
It takes guts, it takes passion, and unshakable belief in your idea. So let's give these startups another huge round of applause, and these founders.
Now, while the judges have the difficult task back there of deliberating, we're going to do the giveaway. If you were here at the beginning of the session, you scanned a barcode, right, from our amazing partners, Delta. And so we're going to have Nacho, the head of sales, market development, and community partnerships, and a dear friend from eMerge and Delta on stage to help us announce.
Hi, Nacho.
How's it going? Thank you so much, Mel. It's truly a pleasure to be with you guys tonight. First, I want to congratulate Melissa, Mariana, the entire eMerge team on yet another successful conference. Can we give them a round of applause?
Thank you.
Mel, your team's absolutely incredible. I love working with you guys, and it's truly inspiring to see the dedication and the innovation that we saw over these last 2 days. So congratulations.
Thank you,
so
and
much.
thank you for being such a staunch supporter of
course.
eMerge for so many years.
No, I appreciate that. And know that Delta is not only committed to eMerge, but we are also committed to South Florida, Miami, and the entire community. Whether it's your next pitch or your next adventure, please count on us to get you there. And talking about some adventures, are we ready to give away some tickets?
Yes,
please.
Nacho, I think you should pitch us something next year. I mean, you're
I-
fabulous
Do you have a
on
1-minute
stage.
Come check us out of our booth. Sign up for Sky Miles for Business. We can get you there. Our loyalty program is amazing. Our innovation, our onboard experience, free Wi-Fi. What else do you want to know?
Wow.
Movies, entertainment. I wasn't prepared for a pitch, so I just want to.
I know, that was good.
He did really well. Okay, I actually have the winner right here in my pant pocket.
You do. Let's see.
Okay?
Let's see.
So, and this person has to be here, right?
They have to be here. They have to be here.
That's an eMerge rule.
Let's hope that worked out.
The person has to be here in order to accept.
Stop it.
Okay, and the winner is, Melissa announces,
Leonel Azuela. Is he here? Yes!
Wow!
I saw it for the first time right now.
Congratulations.
Tell him, wait, what's he winning?
Wait, well, we have a question for him first.
okay, okay.
We have to see.
So we have a question for Leonel before we tell him what he won.
I'm a big Aeromexico flyer.
Oh, even I'll take it. Yes.
Airline.
Do you have your phone on you by chance?
Yes.
Do you have the Fly Delta app or the Aeromexico app? I'll give that to you as well. Let's see.
Aeromexico, yes, it's here.
He's trembling. Let's see if this app is on this phone.
Oh, this is the airlines. There it is.
You do. You have that amazing.
He has the app.
So we're super excited to be giving away not Delta Premium Select, but Delta One to Europe. So congratulations, and
very much.
thank you so much for being an Automexico flyer as well as a Delta flyer. We appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Leonel, before we let you go, do you have any idea where you would want to go?
Yeah, where's Delta going to take you?
Wow, my gosh. I don't know. I have to ask my wife.
Great answer. Great answer.
Good answer.
Yeah,
Good
yeah,
answer.
yeah. I know.
Gracias, Leonel. Thank you.
No, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Melissa.
Thank you so much, Nacho. Thank you, Leonel.
You're welcome.
I know.
So we've given the judges a little time to deliberate.
You wanna go check?
I'm gonna go take a peek to see if they're ready, folks.
All right. While she checks, I'm gonna have our awesome DJ Giancarlo just, let's play a little music while the judges deliberate. How'd you know that I wanted that song? Let's crank it up a little bit.
Mr. Worldwide,
Come on, guys. Friday afternoon. Let's go. Don't make me do this by myself, people, please. Let's go. All right. Lucky, you guys got lucky. Saved by the Bell. They were ready. Right before I was about to karaoke.
Are you giving?
Wait, let's come here.
I'm going to stand over on this side. Whoever won must have pitched really well because they didn't deliberate
I was
for long.
about to sing and dance and
yeah. I'm going to stand over to your left, Melissa. Can I get you guys here in the front? Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Stand
Let's
up
give a
here in
round
the front.
of applause
Let
to
me
the
all
judges,
see you. Okay.
please. All right. I also, before we announce the winner, I really, really want to acknowledge Dan Herrera, who has been leading these startups for months, organizing everything along with his colleague, my team member, Emily as well. But Dan, thank you, because you've done a fabulous job. All right, who's announcing?
Who's going to make the announcement?
We made a smart choice.
There you go.
That is startup number 1, Smart, at the university stage. Woo!
Let's go.
Money first. You have to hold the whole thing. Wanna hold it? Come on, let's all get in here. Let's feed the world.
Congratulations. Congrats. Thank you again to the judges, all the startups. Please, before you leave, and Mariana wraps up with us too, I need everyone to please give a massive round of applause to the entire eMerge team, from Diane, our COO, Stacy in sales. They've worked so hard to put this on for all of you. I really can't thank them enough. They have so much passion for what they do. Thank you to the eMerge team. Thank you again.
Thank you, guys. I'm going to ask you to exit stage right, everybody.
Thank you.
And of course, it falls to me to do what I need your help in doing. Can I ask you to stay standing up? Because we need to honor the woman to my right now. She has poured her heart into making this event what it is, giving it the vision, the determination, and just all the energy. Melissa Medina, the engine behind our movement here at eMerge, the one that is making sure that we take this conference to the next level every single year. She moves here to the beach and she dedicates 12 months out of the year to giving us these incredible days that we've had here for Meaningful Connections and to take South Florida to the next level. Thank you so much, Melissa. A big round of applause for her.
I'm at a loss of words, but thank you for bringing the energy every year. I love you very much. You're part of the family.
I do a ton of events worldwide. eMerge is at the top. I wouldn't miss it for the world. And I hope that you guys don't miss it next year. We already have dates for next year's eMerge.
We do.
April, let's see. Can we get the prompter to reveal these dates? It's going to be April 23rd
and 24th.
2026. So mark your calendars and get, of course, your VIP badges. The celebration continues, Melissa.
Yes, if you're a VIP badge holder, you know where to go next for our VIP party. I hope to see you there. I will be there having a cocktail or 2.
And the party wraps poolside. And what event does that? Only eMerge Americas, only in Miami. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next year.
Yes.